You're listening to a Time Machine podcast. Old Movie Time Machine. An adventure through time and or space. Hello everybody and welcome back to Old Movie Time Machine. This is the show in which we use color films made in the old US of A between the years of 1945 and 1965 as windows into the past. That's right, we throw the window open. We climb inside the window. Or through the window, I guess, not inside the window itself. That's not really a thing that happens, but you can pass through the window into the world beyond the window. And beyond that window, it's a whole different scene, you guys, filled with places, things, ideas, and most importantly, people. And while we're investigating all of the above, we're going to be asking some critical questions, such as these people. Who are these people? What are their habits? How are they treating each other? What decisions are they making and why? And also, and arguably the most important part of all of this, what are they wearing and what do their living rooms look like? And then at the end of the show, we come back through the window to present times and we make a judgment call. We ask the final vital question on behalf of all of humanity here in the early 21st century, which is this movie that we just watched, this window into a different time, a different world. Do we keep watching this thing? Do we keep showing this to ourselves and to others? Do we keep spreading this around? Letting it drip down from one generation to another, or do we just cast it aside and let it fade into oblivion? We will find out. I'm your host, by the way, through time and or space, Justin Zeppa, joined as ever by my panel of international experts at being humans in the early 21st century, and also, and I sometimes leave this out, and I really shouldn't, and I apologize to all of you here, the smartest people that I know. Starting on my left, as ever, the one, the only, Katherine Sherlock. Hi, Katherine.
Hello.
Welcome back to the program.
Thank you.
Lovely to see you.
And to be here.
And on your left, coming soon to a chair near you, Shrishma Naik, who is late to the recording session, and we just couldn't wait any longer. So she will be popping in at some point. We will give her a world of grief when she does arrive, and she will say, something came up, and also I didn't watch the movie, or whatever it is she's going to say. Who knows? That's part of the mystery. So enjoy that. And in theory, on her left, and also across the ocean, my sister and yours, Carolyn Naoroz. Hey, sis.
Hey there.
Welcome back to the program. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
You guys, today we're talking about a little motion picture film, a movie, if you will, 1953's Invaders from Mars. Now, real quick. Anybody seen this movie before?
Yes.
Have you?
I have.
Oh, where have you seen this? Do you remember?
Just on the TV,
Just somewhere around?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Maybe several times as well.
Really?
Mm.
Wow, that's interesting.
Not for a long time, but yeah, this was definitely something that was just kind of on the telly at some point.
Do you feel like this was in circulation in the same way that American Westerns were in circulation a lot in the UK?
Yeah, possibly not. Perhaps not quite as frequently as Westerns, but sci-fi is definitely there's definitely an appetite for that in the UK.
Okay. Yeah, it's I'm just surprised because it doesn't, according to the print that we watched anyway, this does not seem to be a movie that has been loved by time very much. No. Or possibly loved too much. I mean, it looks kind of rough. It needs a restoration.
Yes.
I'd like to see it.
Somebody needs to take care of it.
Yeah. Carolyn, have you seen this movie before? I can't imagine you have.
No.
Yeah. Okay. And according to the expression on your face, you may have been fine having not seen said movie. Mm-hmm. But maybe we can get ourselves a little clue with our typical section about one-line reviews. Katherine Sherlock, do you have a one-line review for 1953's Invaders from Mars?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
So, this Mars Attacks version is a straight-laced and earnest boy who does not cry wolf tale, complete with some excellent alien concepts.
Okay. That's a very generous review, I have to say.
Yeah.
But I'm loving it.
It's very, I mean, it's straight up.
There's something about, I don't know if you're kind of a spacey person, right? We've talked about this before. There's something about the idea of, especially when you're a kid, that in your neighborhood, something can come down and land and be weird and alien, and maybe you can be a part of their adventures. Something I thought about all the time. So anytime something like this happens where we're watching a movie that is that very thing, I'm into the idea at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, this is very much a kid saving the world. Trying to save his parents, saving the world. He's the one who knows what's going on. He's the young scientist to be.
Taken very seriously by legitimate scientists.
Actual scientists,
who have spent years studying. And they're like, this kid's amazing.
Apparently he was just hanging around in their labs, and this is fine.
Enough for them to get an accurate reading on his character as a human being.
Although, to be fair, I was working in a laboratory at 16, so I was kind of a kid.
Oh, so you are this kid.
Quite possibly.
You are David. David Catherine Sherlock McLean. How about that? Sis, did you have any, what are your thoughts on aliens, by the way? Carolyn, this is something we've never really spoken of that I can recall, but maybe we should be speaking of more often. I mean, we're in middle age. Life is kind of what it is. Maybe we need to be talking more about aliens. How do you feel about that?
I feel like we have talked about it and maybe on the program before. To a certain extent, science is not only about what you can prove through rigorous methodology, but that also means that until it's tested, we don't know what we don't know. Yeah. Or until we have proof. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Until we have, so I'm not saying that there isn't alien life form. I guess my opinion would be why, and I think we talked about this when we did the other spacey one with the eye thing. What was that called?
Oh, War of the Worlds?
War of the Worlds.
Yeah.
Why are aliens always scary? Because we as humans are afraid of anything that's not like us, including other humans that don't look like us, obviously.
I mean, also spiders. I mean, let's face it. We're scared of spiders.
Yeah, that's true.
100%.
If anything's an alien on this planet, spiders, maybe snakes too.
Right.
I mean, come on. Again, you're moving. I don't see any legs. How is this happening? How is this working?
Exactly. So, but I'm one that's like, but what if it is very, sort of George Lucas-esque, and we've got a planet full of puppies, or Ewoks or whatever. Like, what if they're like cute, intelligent forms of life?
Yeah,
red pandas.
Cute
I don't know.
Evil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
The thing, you just doesn't.
It's kind of the Men in Black kind of touches on that a little bit.
Right.
A little bit. Carolyn, we never got your one-line review, though. So can you hit us with that?
My one-line review is that this seemed to be a lot of running around at the very end in tunnels. And then this great line appears. And one of the guys says, you got to hit him right in the puss.
Right in the puss with a grenade. Yep.
I also love that this film opened up with, David, no cussing. Mother's tired.
It was incredibly straight-laced. And then it sort of dissolved into absolute chaos.
Oh my God.
This was very 1950s. My one-line review real quick is this feels like a school report written by a kid who has just seen The War of the Worlds and borders on folk art. My impression is that this was a very shoestring budgety type of film. Mm-hmm. You've got 3, maybe 4 locations tops. They're making the most out of it. You've got 3, maybe 4 hours tops of stock footage of the military mobilizing. Not unlike The War of the Worlds. That's very similar. Also came out the same year. So it's kind of interesting to compare and contrast the two. War of the Worlds clearly has a budget and a very fixed idea of what it is. This also is a fixed idea, but it's just much smaller in scale and much more, we're just trying to piece, do you want to be in this movie? Well, come on in and be in this movie. Hey, can we borrow that fence for our movie. We need to make a movie. So it feels very adorably handcrafted in a way.
Yes, I agree. And I felt like some of the set pieces were very sparse. You know, like the police station. It was very theatrical. I mean, it was just huge white walls.
It was like the police station for heaven.
There was a clock on the wall, and
so
it
high
was
up on the wall.
nothing else. And it was like, what's happening here? This is the cleanest police environment I've ever seen.
Yeah, and he's got two huge
really
lamps on the side.
Corridors, things. Yeah, it was very strange.
It
was almost
a bit of like a diorama that you would have made in a shoebox.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it also has elements of, what is it, German expressionism? Is that what we're thinking of when I think of like Caligari and early Fritz Lang movies? Like just very Nosferatu, that kind of thing. Like everything's very exaggerated. The backgrounds seem kind of two-dimensional almost in a way, like sort of like cut out, like you say, like a play, you know,
exactly.
like play sets.
And I think the third dimension was actually quite clever here, which was the music. I think the way that was used was very interesting.
I enjoyed the choir part that symbolized the spaceship doing anything.
Yeah, alien
that was great.
Spookiness.
Anytime you have a choir of people just going, oh.
But it's completely inspired by Holst's the planets.
Which is a fabulous piece of music.
Absolutely. But this is totally taken from that.
I could see that.
Otherworldly, the use of the choir in that otherworldly fashion. They've definitely taken that and run with it. But it almost fills in like plot holes, like.
Yeah,
and
special
lack
effects
of,
holes.
Yeah, like there's some sand
Quicksand
draining away down a hole here.
Let's
get some music on it.
Guys, don't linger on this shot for too long. We can only get away with it for a couple of seconds.
But with the music overlaying it, it's suddenly interesting.
There's atmosphere. There's mood. Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely. Another little movie you may have heard of that is also borrowed from The Planets, which is like a symphonic suite, I guess we would call that. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a piece for each of them,
planet,
right? Yeah.
Each major planet,
Johnny Boy Williams and his original Star Wars score borrows a lot of ideas and beats. And I think actually George Lucas cut the movie to some of the Holtz pieces as like a temp track. Yeah. And was like, try to match it like this. Do it like that, Johnny. So right off the bat, we're just going to get into it. Invaders from Mars. So we open with a big, bold, brassy, three-dimensional title card coming out of the depths of the cosmos in big red letters, Invaders from Mars. Or so they say, quote unquote.
Quotes,
you know what they say, Catherine. Invaders from Mars.
Mars.
Allegedly. Mm-hmm. Here they are. And I was kind of anticipating, again, having seen The War of the Worlds, having done Destination Moon, maybe we're going to get some kind of spacey intro here. We get a little bit in that space appears here in the background, unmoving, cold, and also most likely uncaring, indifferent. All I know is that this movie was not only directed by a man named William Cameron Menzies, but it was also production designed. And he actually front loads with production designed and directed by William Cameron Menzies. I've never seen that before. Just wanted to make a note of it. It's interesting because I guess if he's the production designer, he's the one making these phone calls asking to borrow the fence and somebody's car and somebody's old army uniform.
Okay, so it's very much his vision.
Apparently. This is what I'm led to believe. Again, very little research has gone into this program. However, I do have a few bits of a couple nuggets of trivia for you that I will dish out at the appropriate time. One in particular about these tunnel walls. I don't know if you heard about this, but
I have my own theories about that.
Okay. So we open. There's a voiceover. It is not the voice of Paul Frees, who we would normally associate with spacey voiceovers and have seen do spacey voiceovers, or have heard rather, do spacey voiceovers for both The War of the Worlds and also That Funny Feeling. That's the Bobby Darin one? Yeah, that funny feeling.
Long eyeballs?
Where he fools us into thinking that it's a space movie, but really it's just a dumb romantic comedy with Bobby Darin, who looks like a wax dummy.
Joan is my maid.
And behaves like a wax dummy, too, for that matter. But so we're not getting the ghost host Paul Frees here. We are getting somebody's very sonorous voiceover talking about kind of giving another run through the solar system, just reminding you that the planets are there and they exist and we can travel through them. And what if there was life out there? And, where would they live? And also, let's leave it to the scientists to think about and ponder. There's some musings about scientists. Scientists, Catherine, of all ages.
Yes.
And then we find ourselves in the childhood bedroom of the actual child, David McLean, who is, I guess, our main character.
Yeah.
He's around. He's in many, if not all, the scenes. He kind of falls by the wayside at a certain point because he is just a kid and he only has so much agency in this world of military industrial complex, which encroaches, just like Eisenhower always warned us it would, and comes in and just takes over this town. To be fair, I think Eisenhower was president at this point, so he only has himself to blame. I would have loved to have seen him make a cameo in this movie, though. Now, young David, he's asleep in his bed, and he is awoken by his alarm clock at 4:00 in the morning. And we're wondering, what's this all about?
He's got swim practice. That's what that's all about. Because when alarms go off at my house, it's
Familiar
because the kids are waking up.
Dr. Naoroz. Okay, interesting. Well, it's one thing to be up early in the morning / late at night. When you're a kid, it's a very exciting thing to do. It's very sneaky because you're supposed to be asleep. And mom and dad just need a goddamn break where they can sleep and not worry about where you are. However, young David violates the cardinal rule of up all nightism, which is don't wake up your housemates. And sure as shit, his alarm clock wakes up dad. Danger zone. What are you talking about, kid? You got to be careful. You stick that alarm clock under your pillow or something like that. You have to muffle this thing. You don't wake up dad. Never wake up dad. This is the rule of any house that has a dad. Don't wake him up.
You know what the new rule is?
What's that?
Don't fucking wake up mom.
Don't. Okay. Mom or dad. How about that? Don't wake up your parents. They're so tired. They work all day. David, you're running around, catching frogs, shooting stones with your slingshot, and also studying deep space telescopy. It's interesting. He lives quite a rich life. But mom and dad got to go to work in the morning, so keep it down over there. Dad wakes up. He is very confused. Dad's name is George, by the way, George McLean. And mom's name is Mary, I believe. Mary McLean. We'll call her mom, though. And I can't recall off the top of my head, but they were sleeping in separate beds, correct? There's no way they're sleeping in the same bed. It's most likely they're in different beds.
Okay.
As was custom at the time. And it's not likely I'm going to go back and check. But so that is just fact now. I have just laid that down. Nobody else out there check either because you've also forgotten. It's no use. Let's just pretend for the sake of the program. Mm-hmm. Anyway, dad wakes up. He's like, what's going on? And his wife is like, hey, don't worry about it. The alarm is set for 7:30 or whatever. It's 4 a.m. You're out of your mind. So mom wasn't too bothered by David's alarm clock. Dad, however, figures it out once he kind of comes to, and he's just sort of like, this kid of mine. Because it turns out that dad is a scientist of some note, a local scientist. This small town, I'm assuming it's a small town.
Yes.
Has myriad scientists, an abundance of scientists.
It seems to be near some kind of military research base. Some
kind of facility. There's some kind of manufacturing facility that something happens to later in the movie. But also there's a restricted area where there's a rocket launch pad and all of this. Mm-hmm. There's also a big old observatory in this town. It's a fascinating town, wherever this is. But anyway, he is sort of delighted by the fact that his boy is up and doing sciencey things. David's a good boy. So he goes into David's bedroom and he sees his son, gazing through a telescope out at the stars. And he is watching, we are told, Orion at its zenith, I believe, although he pronounces it Orion, which is a very U.S. way of doing things.
Okay.
But some people do. There's a road in Michigan I'm aware of that is spelled Orion but pronounced Orion. It's a crime, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And
a bit like oregano.
Oregano. Wait a minute. Do I see Shrishma Naik coming up the walk? Guys, this is great. We've never done this live on the air, but I'm going to go let her in. Let's just let the tape roll. You guys talk amongst yourselves. Catherine, you're in charge. Host the show.
Oh, my God.
We'll wait for the doorbell.
Okay, let's listen to that. She might just assume that you're getting it because we've seen her. So we're just scratching at the door now. Let me in.
Like stray cats.
Exactly. Waiting to be invited
my saucer of wine.
Oh, there is wine, actually.
Well.
Hello.
Shrishma Naik to Catherine's left, as previously foretold. Welcome to the program, Shrishma Naik.
Hey, guys. Sorry.
Just talking Invaders from Mars. Get yourself situated.
Yeah.
I want to take this time while Shrishma's getting ready to say that I am really a fan of Catherine's sweater today.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, she's
Big
got a
fan.
little Lopa Pizza on.
I
It's
know.
more of a fashion one, though, because it's not like the proper hard wool. I really
okay.
love the back. Can I show you the back?
Yes, I want to
Please.
see.
Wish you would.
You know
Wish you
I
would.
love the Icelandic sweaters.
Oh, yeah. Very
Oh, that's lovely.
Catherine's got
Got a
moves.
little shimmy. Got a little shimmy action.
Shrishma, how are your levels?
Levels are good.
Great.
How are my
great.
levels?
Never better.
You're leveling up.
They were 0 before, but now you're in full voice.
Cool, I'm here.
I know. What was happening?
You doing all right?
Yeah,
Okay.
work.
Just some bullshit. Listen, real quick. Wanted to ask you if you have a one-line review for this movie, Invaders from Mars.
I'm so glad that since 1953 to 2022, we have evolved the way we say the word mutant.
Mutant.
Yes, exactly. Mutant.
It's a mutant.
Mutant. Ah.
And I also appreciated that the true heroes were the scientists and not...
We were just talking about how scientist-centric this little town is. Everybody's a goddamn scientist.
I feel like this is something from the era, though, that we've seen, especially in these more sci-fi movies that, like, I'm just thinking back to some of the others we've seen where it's like, oh my God, these scientists are like household names.
Yes. Celebrity scientists.
Right.
And it's unfortunate that today that's not the case. Like, we don't know anything about... There's so much research going on in the US and in the world in science, and no one talks about any of it.
Unless
Except,
unless
know,
it's commercialized.
COVID-related. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the thing. There are very famous scientists. Brian Greene. Do you know Brian Greene? He does a lot of stuff with super string theory.
Okay.
He's Mr. String Theory and multiverses and things like this.
There's also Brian Cox.
Okay.
What does he specialize in?
He's a physicist.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And astronomer, I believe. Yes. He does a lot of spacey stuff. You'd like him.
Okay. Okay.
And he was also in... What band was he in the 90s? I can't remember.
Oh, he's a rocket scientist.
Yeah,
Okay.
completely. Actual
Okay.
rock and roll scientist.
That's
What is the
cool.
gentleman's name? Michio Kaku, I believe, is another.
Okay.
I mean, if I got that right, then it is a household name, and
was
if I
gonna
got the
say,
name wrong, then it is.
bless you.
It is not. Pass the tissues, please. Thanks. But they're out there.
Bill Nye?
They publish. Come
Yes,
on now.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
They
Alton
published the
Brown?
books.
Alton Brown was good. He did food and cooking.
Right.
And
Okay.
the science
Okay.
behind cooking.
So I mean, there's.
There's a few.
There's some,
Yeah.
but
Not as
I
many
don't,
as
I
there
don't
should
know.
be.
No. Considering, I think how much Amazing stuff's going on out there. I don't think it's publicized enough. And it doesn't have to be commercialized to be publicized and be worthy of airtime.
But I do think part of the problem, I will get on my... Hold on, let me pull out my soapbox here.
Okay. Oh, it's heavy. That's like an old-timey soapbox. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to get up here to say... Probably part of the reason that we don't hear about it is because most research is behind a paywall of academic journals of which the general public can't access unless they are at a university as a researcher, a professor, or a student where they have the university buying the subscription to the academic journal. So a lot of research
Carolyn,
just
I'm sorry
goes
to
unknown.
interrupt you. Hold on one sec. Do you guys hear? Is there like a grinding sound?
Yeah.
Are you grinding an axe over there?
Yeah, I
just
am.
getting some kind of interference.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but
Yeah.
I've got a small one going on.
Do you?
here as
Okay,
well.
okay.
Yeah, I'm kind
Okay.
of just synchronizing
Maybe we
that.
should come
Yeah,
out
can
with
you
like
do
a
that
trendy science
audio drop?
magazine.
we should do a trendy
Like a
science
fashion magazine, but like a science magazine.
where we make the scientists look real sexy.
Yeah.
like get them posed
and like get their all the articles about like science.
Isn't that what like New Scientist actually
I
is?
don't know. Is it?
Yeah.
I've never heard of it.
But we also have to make sure that it's a peer-reviewed sexy science journal.
Yes, exactly.
Because
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want
I'll
any
review it.
bullshit. I mean,
I'll take a look at it. Yeah,
What,
it's
so,
good.
Only sexy scientists?
What's in your
or
test tube,
sexy
baby?
science?
Yeah, let's see what else we got.
Oh, let's make
23,
everything
looks
sexy.
good.
I can do this.
Page 25
This is my job.
looks good.
This is what I should be doing with my life.
Catherine's going to
27
be
and
the
28.
editor.
Yeah. How many double entendres? No, there's not enough. Find some more smut here, people.
Do we have an alternate shot here where that tweed jacket's coming off of her shoulder? Come on, what is this?
Yes, undo a few more buttons on that white coat.
Yeah. Shrishma, I bet you're glad you're here.
I am.
So good to see you.
How come I don't get some wine?
Do you want some wine?
Yeah.
No, it's wine time.
Hey, I think we have next year's Halloween costume, which is sexy scientist.
I'll just go as myself.
Right.
Same.
I'll do like
Sorry, guys.
the evil stepsister version of sexy social scientist. Hey, I work with people.
People are science too.
I'm gathering quantitative and qualitative data. Ooh la la.
I should like to know what making out means.
We have really taken this one. I think it's a.
Well, I'll tell you, Shrishma, there's not much to this movie, so we gotta stretch. We gotta fill this guy out a little bit.
But we're going to make it
Mutant.
short and sweet.
Yeah, that was my favorite bit. I was like, what are they saying? Are they what?
The theory calls them mutants.
Mutants?
Teenage
Ein-
mutant turtles. Hey everybody, mid-roll Jay-Z here, just breaking in, just ruining the momentum the show has gained at this point. But I gotta tell you guys about these incredible products over at the T Public store. I'm actually joined by two very special guests, Katherine Sherlock and Shrishma Naik. Hey guys, welcome to the commercial in the middle of the show.
Hello.
Hi.
Nice to see you. What would you guys recommend? If you had your choice, let's say today, you're going to go buy one thing from the TeePublic store, of which the link is in the show notes, of course. You can go reach it there. Would you rather have a coffee mug or an iPhone case? Catherine?
Out of those choices,
Yeah.
it would have to be the coffee mug, seeing as I have a Samsung phone.
Oh my goodness. Well, fortunately for you, Catherine, you can get one for Samsung as well.
What?
Yep,
Well,
the options are
then it might just have to be the phone cover.
ostensibly limitless. I mean, I guess we'll just have to test the system and find out. Shrishma, what would you rather
I
have?
would also take the iPhone case.
Would you really?
I would.
All right. Well, fuck you, coffee mugs. No, that just means that they're available, folks, for you to go buy.
So 2000s.
What about the t-shirts? I was hoping I would get a choice on the t-shirt, and I would totally say
hoodie.
t-shirt.
Catherine, you could absolutely get a t-shirt. Go to the words attached to the show. You'll see the link. TeePublic, Old Movie Time Machine. And if you do get one of those things, I'm going to thank you so much. We all are, just like we will right now. Right, you guys?
Thank
Thank you.
Nice.
And now back to the show. Where are we now? Okay, so here's Dr. Wilson in his laboratory doing... Now look,
Science
movie-
things.
this movie fails in many ways, but it succeeds in expressing in one image exactly what I believe science is. Now, you guys work in labs. This is clearly what you're doing all day, which is pouring liquids from one glass vial into another glass vial, right?
With your Bunsen burners a going.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is what we do all day, every day. I have actually had to stage things for photo shoots, and you end up doing something like this.
Where you're gazing into a thing, your hand centrifuging.
A vial of water, just going, this is so interesting.
Why do we keep perpetuating this myth then? Because
It's real. Look at him.
Because real science isn't necessarily quite so photogenic. We're not having eureka moments
all the time.
Did you not hear the conversation they were having during the break? I mean,
I heard. I know.
Yeah. A307 is really bad. Yeah, it's the fucking worst. You've been talking about that one for years.
Yeah.
We'll bleep that so it doesn't.
My science is
don't
like,
worry, it's top
will you
secret.
take this survey? And if you do, I'll give you a piece of candy. Thanks. Thank you.
So how many liquids do you pour from one glass vial into another
0.
in your day to day?
Me?
So-
0.
I pour coffee into.
Yeah, I think coffee's the main thing.
Oh, that's true.
And then there's
Shit, I'm a
milk.
scientist then. I'm
Yeah.
gonna do a lot of science.
You have to have the right proportions of coffee.
That's
and
true.
milk.
I have to heat
You
the
have to
water up to a
stir
particular
to
temp.
dissolve the
All
sugar.
chemistry. It's all chemistry.
You guys,
Very true.
Does that make me a chemist?
I think
Maybe.
so.
I think so.
Maybe.
They work in
and you're
science,
sampling
audience.
the goods.
Exactly. Always dip into your own supply, right? So Dr. Wilson's at the lab doing some very serious science, a lot of liquids, a lot of fire, a lot of bubbling, a lot of test tubes and test tube. He's got a nice little spice rack for his test tubes down here. I wonder if he made that by hand. Anyway, his colleague kind of pops his head into this massive, bizarre laboratory with excessive fluorescent lighting overhead.
Yeah, it's another very stark set. There's not a lot else going on.
Yeah.
Other than angles.
I mean, it's a clean room, to be fair. I mean, but he's not wearing gloves
No.
or any kind of mask or
No, or a hairnet.
Yeah,
I don't think
yeah.
there's any clean room thing happening.
goggles, anything like that. But he's like, "Hey, Dr. Wilson, are you okay? Your daughter died like hours ago. You're fine." He's like, "Yes, I'm fine. I must do my science. I have to focus on this."
Cannot feel anything.
He is not mourning too hard. It's just my take on it. Maybe people grieve in mysterious ways, right?
Yeah.
So, meanwhile, David's parents are trying a car is broken routine outside of this very restricted laboratory facility where the guards are like, "Hey, what's going on?" No, not these guys. The don't get too excited. The guards are like, "Hey, ma'am, what's wrong?" And she's like, "This darn car just happened to stop working right outside the gates." And Dad makes his way inside somehow. He's got a gun. He takes a shot at Dr. Wilson, who just happens to duck out of the way.
No, he was like, "Oh, I dropped my pen."
He dropped something, right? Yes, I was just going to ask.
Down to pick it up.
Yes, and
Sexy
then-
scientist.
It
It's
sounds
the
like we have our
bend and
center.
snap.
We have our centerfold for our first magazine. Sounds like. Naughty Dr. Wilson drops his pen.
Let me just bend over.
As
for
he
that.
bends over, his white lab coat slides up over his tweed-encased derriere.
No one wants to see that.
And it would be tweed.
Oh, it would be Tweety. And then, of course, there's one of the vials he's been working with explodes from the bullet, of course. And so there would be some kind of fluids dripping. It could be a very sexy puddle-laden scene, you know? And so, boy, close call for the doctor there. There's a very long run back to the car, and we see every footfall from David's dad as he makes his way from inside a building across a whole parking
so
lot.
Much running. Just
It goes
so much
forever.
running.
Again, pad that run time. But they are captured by the military.
If we
Thank
cut
goodness.
out the running, this movie might be like 40 minutes.
It's like a tight 40 for sure. Meanwhile, back at the sand trap, they blow open an entrance. Oh, like the military stock footage arrives, and they're like, "Okay, now we have all of this power together. Let's take a dozen of us out to the sand trap that we have been explicitly trying to avoid this entire time, because if there are more of us, it's better." And apparently it is, because they start digging and they do not vanish. And then they stick some explosives down there, blow up a hole, and find themselves a subterranean cavern. They spend a lot of time climbing down into this cavern just to look around for about 20 seconds and say, well, looks like they're gone. And then we see them climb back out of the cavern. It is a strange sequence of events.
Well, I think it sets up for the alien technology of the ray gun. And how the aliens are moving around.
Sealing the passage behind them.
So they open it up to get to wherever they want to get to and grab a victim, and then they seal it back up again.
Yes. Now, would you like my final piece of trivia that I have gained from the power of the interwebs?
If we must.
Okay. Well, I mean, don't twist my arm, right? Now, could anybody describe to me what the inside of these passages look like?
They look like balloons.
They look like balloons. Do you know what they actually are?
Balloons.
Condoms. Production designers used.
I'm not far off, though.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. They're what did we say?
So
inflated, bulbous. Yeah.
Because it's meant to mimic like rock that's just been melted and bubbling, and then it's cooled in this kind of bubbly kind of.
Yeah, just some Johnnies. Surface. Just blow up some Johnnies and spackle them on there. We got ourselves a movie, right?
Excellent. Very inventive. I like
Excellent.
it.
Yeah. Dr. Blake, is that her name? I almost said Baker, but I think it's Dr. Blake. She gets a Jeep call. It's an elusive phone call, but one that existed in a time of many Jeeps. There's a phone in that Jeep, and whoever's calling knows right where to find her, because the Jeep driver is like, oh yeah, Dr. Blake's here, of course. And so she is told that David's mom and dad have been captured. They are under military care at this point. Nothing bad will happen. Don't worry about it. I know I told you that the thing in their neck's going to make them blow up and die. We're going to do everything in our power to make sure that doesn't happen. Do not sweat it. But also, maybe they're going to die. I'm Dr. Blake. I'm just saying this at this point.
They've done something
something
awful.
Fortunately, we don't have to linger on that concept for too long, because we're finally seeing some Martian mutants, you guys. Let's take a look at them.
Don't they get sucked underground? The Doctor and David.
I believe. Oh yeah, but they are soon sucked into the earth.
Yes,
right. Okay, thank you so much. We had to find the mutants somehow, and this is how we do it. So the mutants are played by some very tall individuals. One of whom plays the robot in
Mars is old and
the day after
the day the Earth stood still.
There was life on Mars a long time.
One of these gentlemen,
Do
you think there are people actually living plays the robot from The Day the Earth Stood Still, which is
the firm belief of many scientists that the Earth has been under systematic and close-range observation for more than 200 years.
Do you think so?
Anyway,
people the world over have been
did you happen
reporting
to notice the
unidentifiable objects
zippers
in the
in the
sky
back
since
of
the
the
time of
mutant?
George Washington.
could you see mutants zippers?
Yeah.
Oh no!
Absolutely.
Remember the strange object we saw that night?
Yeah, so this is where we start seeing some scorching laser action.
We can't release it now. We can't get back on the
Capture
spaceship.
David and Dr. Blake, and they laser their way through the passages.
I think it's infrared.
It's just a melted sort of hot iron type of thing.
It looks like the kind of thing that actually
Like a red light.
Shiatsu setting or something like that. Yeah. That does sound nice. All right, so they infrared their way through the tunnels, and they take them to what we are led to believe is the interior of their ship. Here they are, and they throw them inside this cavernous green metallic space. And after doing so, they bring in their buddy, their boss, their overlord, who is I suppose, Martian, who lives inside of a large glass bubble.
He is all brain and tentacles.
Yes, and this is described as apparently a fully developed version of mankind is how it's framed. This is what. So before, when we were back at the observatory talking about how people used to live on Mars, this is the type of people, and it's somebody who lives in a fishbowl. Now, this particular fishbowl Martian person, let's get a look here, was actually a little person actor who appeared in The Wizard of Oz, I believe. I think was perhaps a munchkin. That's it. That's the last trivia trivia that I have. I think that's it.
Do you think that's a condom that's been blown up over his head there?
Well, since we know about, I feel like maybe that would not be durable enough for it looks like this is painted or made up. I don't know though. I mean, condoms are designed to be resilient, right? And they're designed for a purpose.
I would just like to enter into, for a moment, to discuss how in science fiction it always seems to be that we arrive at some form of life that is completely or almost completely divested of its body, and its brain is really the primary thing, right? Like at some point we evolve past our bodies.
Yes, and that's definitely what I'm aiming for at some point, is to just be pure energy.
Wouldn't that be nice? Think about all the candy that you could eat if you had no body.
I've got no body.
I'm just saying that, like,
I find eating tiresome anyway. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like it, but
what I was going to say is that I think that so much of our modern technology is keeping us very much grounded in our physical form to a certain extent, because it makes us obsess about the way that we look or don't look, or, even though
you're suggesting if I get off this iPhone teat, I can become full brain?
I don't, but do we really want to do that? Because if you become full brain, how are brains making more brains?
That's true. Hey, what do you got there, Catherine?
There's already 7 billion people. We don't need more.
We're done? We're full?
For a while.
Okay. Brains could figure it out. They're all brain.
Right.
They could find a way.
Right.
That's all they're doing is sitting there thinking.
Or they would just...
So do we go
develop bodies again?
Do we move into this matrix-like structure where we're all just plugged in brains?
Could be.
I mean, that's what we're moving towards with our cell phones, aren't we?
That's true.
Yeah. Now, there were 4 Matrix movies. I've seen all of them, most of them more than once. I couldn't tell you how they got people to reproduce if everybody's a battery in a puddle of goo.
There might have been simulation.
They had no. It was all not. It was artificial.
Oh yeah, they were growing crops. Like they were growing
exactly. They were growing them.
Crops.
They were growing.
Okay.
There was the fields. You don't remember?
Well, there's that part where he
watched it like 10 times.
He karate chops.
Remember where he flies over
really
the
fast.
fields? And like, there's like this whole like.
Look, I'll be honest with you. Most of the time that I have spent with the Matrix has been on the moon. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
So the facts get a little fuzzy. Yes, right. But let's get back to space travel and wrap up this movie. Okay, so.
Green Martian Man.
Yes. Oh, Rinaldi is there. Sergeant Rinaldi is there. And he serves as the communication device for Brain Person and the mutants. And he's the one who explains to Dr. Blake and David that this is the deal. This is ultimate. This is where we're all going to if we play our cards right. And that's where the episode abruptly ends. That's because we had some kind of, you guys, there was a mix-up, recording audio. The thing that you need to do is you have to be able to hear it. So that's where we ran into a problem. So to wrap it up real quick, Invaders from Mars, look, the army's there in that kid's backyard, and they escape from the spaceship. And I believe, do you guys remember, did they blow the spaceship up? Or, Catherine?
Yes.
They do. The army triumphs?
An explosion, I believe.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. It was the bomb that they placed in before they then got out themselves, and it kind of off and they went
That's right. And then flamed right out.
Yep.
And then the weird ending where the astronomer, Dr. Kelton, and then the doctor lady I was just editing this today, and I don't remember their names. They are the ones who tuck the little boy in. I can't remember his name either. They tuck him into bed and say goodnight, and then the movie ends. So
it was very strange.
Yeah. So in summary, what we would like to do is all of us gave it a pass. We all said that it should continue on. And actually, I was the lone holdout for a minute. I kind of hemmed and hawed for a bit, but everybody else was so into it. Well, not so into it, but they agreed to it that it really swayed my argument. And so I said, yes, let's keep it. And then for artifacts, let's see. Catherine, you had the spectral choir voices that substitute for dramatic visuals.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and I think we felt quite strongly that should go along with the vending machine.
Yeah.
So like when you order your coffee, it kind of gets all dramatic at you.
Shrishma Naik, you said that it was going to be possibly the infrared ray gun.
Yes.
Although we can't remember.
Or maybe a Martian?
Maybe it was the Martian.
The zip-up suit? Was it the zip-up suit?
Or was it the brain in the ball?
Oh. No, that doesn't.
It wasn't the Martian itself. Okay. Carolyn's was the entire backyard matte painting set, which we saw oodles of. I mean, we saw that shot
again
over and over again. And then for me, it was the actual flying saucer itself, because I really enjoyed the shade of green it was. Go figure. And that was it for Invaders from Mars. So next week, what you're going to be watching, we had a spare week before we start the Christmas holiday spectacular. So we decided to watch 1954's Charlton Heston's Secret of the Incas. That's right, Secret of the Incas. It's available on places on the internet for you to watch, and you should go do that. We'll see you next Wednesday, and until that time, please remember, guys, don't ever forget, this has been Old Movie Time Machine.